Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and some reaction around the world to the big news that Sentinels confirmed TenZ to be staying on their roster for the upcoming season. But also, yay, we expect to go to Cloud9, although he's currently in the Netherlands, we believe, which is where Liquid are based, as some of you guys pointed out to me, is talking about the potential Evil Geniuses roster and saying that BCJ and Supermen might be the two players to round out that team. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. As always, loads of new subs yesterday. Firstly, I've got a quick job advert for you guys. If you guys don't know, I'm the co-founder of Breaking Point and kind of the content lead on that side. We are the HLTV and more for competitive Call of Duty. We are intending to expand our kind of coverage over to Valorant as well and build out a new part of the website to make that possible. We're looking for someone to help us do that. We've got a good team, but we're looking for someone with this experience. I don't know too much about actually building websites and this type of stuff. This is a very niche kind of product management role that there's only going to be a very small percentage of people that are going to have the experience for, and there may only be one person watching this video that potentially fits this potential script. But if that's you, let us know. Either DM the Breaking Point Twitter or DM me on Twitter or whatever, and well, definitely let us know, because there's a few things that we're looking for someone to do to help us build out that part of the website. And if this is you and you love Valorant, then let us know and we can have a discussion. If you've got the skills and looking to get involved in a really exciting project, then of course do feel free to reach out. Let's dive into this then. First of all, from Valorant leaks, we've got the patch 5.08 interface, which is changing rather significantly. This looks pretty clean. I mean, some people are going to say it looks like a mobile game, but yeah, I think it looks kind of nice. This is the new victory screen. This is the new kind of defeat screen, but yeah, it does look a bit like a mobile game, but I still think it looks damn nice. There's this with just the loading menu, and then you've got this as well when you're loading into the game. So yeah, I gotta say, like, this victory and defeat screen does look very nice indeed. Firstly, some Rostermania stuff. King says the following: he's officially signed a deal. Where he's gonna go, who knows? There's been all sorts of drama in the APAC scene, as there has been for sure all around the world right now, and this also from the APAC team, Team Secret. They're getting Envy and Lin into the team. Wit and Dispenser have gone. They've got a revamped 6-man strategy, it seems. So yeah, Team Secret, it's difficult honestly to keep up with everything that happens all around the world, but definitely thought I'd mention this for you guys because some international rosters being built over there, as you may well expect yet again. This also, speaking of international teams, Team Vitality. We thought for a time that cNed might be joining this team, or at least there was the discussion that they might well be going there. Now, Sender, kind of similar to cNed, I suppose, and Bone Cold, they're kind of going to build around those two, and then they're going to bring on Mulsi, Destrian, and Twiston, as we saw from Big yesterday, that is going to round out their team. So interesting team, not quite, you could argue, on the caliber of, you know, the Fnatic roster they're trying to build with Durka, Alphager, Boaster, and then with Chronicle and Leo rounding out that team, and then Liquid that are bringing on Nats and Redgo, we think. And also, where are kind of Scream and Nevera going to go? Because we thought that they were going to go to Carmine Corp. Apparently that is now far from guaranteed again, as we'll see here in a second. So that's definitely one to keep your eyes on. Now, this is what Koi are up to, of course, the Spanish team. They are not just signing Spanish players. So I thought it was interesting, really, that there were three Spanish teams going into the upcoming EMEA VCT, Koi being one of them, but they're going to sign Wolfen, Shados, and Starkso. So again, big name players from big name teams in previous seasons. Like, yeah, the Shados pick is very exciting as well in terms of how those M3C guys, the Met guys, former Gambit guys, are going to match up against each other. But yeah, apparently that's eBuy's team, and that is going to form at least a very significant part of their roster. This on cNed quickly from the South American side. Rumors here from Flint suggesting he's heard that point to him staying in the Ascension team in Latin America. This is kind of crazy that cNed won't be on kind of a franchise team in even South America after being a key part of Crew's success the last season or so. But as it is described, reason being, talks with NA franchise orgs did not work out. He prefers to go to a Spanish-speaking roster, and all Spanish franchise orgs went for English-speaking rosters instead. So this is quite interesting to note, actually, that some of these kind of Spanish-speaking organizations in the South American scene are looking for English-speaking orgs with some English-speaking players. So it definitely shows that, okay, in the North American sides, some of those spots are taken up by, well, now Brazilian players, Sassy and Pancada, but also we've got artists coming in NRG. So, you know, some of these spots are getting taken up for North American players. But it might turn out that some NA pros actually end up still in the Americas League, but on some Spanish organizations, at least from Latin American organizations, South American organizations, let's say, but on English-speaking teams. So cNed may have had a good chance, but those teams may have decided, you know what, let's bring in some of these North American guys, because there is so much talent in the North American scene that presently isn't going to get signed. And I was wondering, well, what are teams going to do, South American teams, if they're just going to go for a Spanish roster that probably isn't anywhere near as good as if they just signed some, Trent and B-Dog and these type of guys that I've talked about the last couple of days that as yet might not have a spot. And then to a certain degree, not exactly forget their roots, but just say, you know what, yeah, we might be a South American org, but the best we can do is actually build a team that's English speaking with maybe a couple of South American players, but also like a couple of North American guys as well, at which point cNed might find himself in the Ascension Tier 2 division rather than in Tier 1. Now, speaking of EG, because this is the final North American org, we need to do something. Now, BCJ and Superman have been playing a lot lately of ranked together. You guys can see right here that Superman gets kind of carried hard by BCJ in this particular game on the Rays. Now, BCJ, great initiator player. Where will he go? I'd love to see him on Evil Geniuses, and apparently that may well be what's going to happen here, because as BCJ says in the reply, so Superman says, let me return the favor, and then he carries him in return, and then BCJ says the following, and then Ye goes, welcome to Evil Geniuses. So Ye out of nowhere, kind of coming back on Twitter all of a sudden. Now, we heard a while ago that EG BCJ could have been a possibility, and now we're pretty sure that Superman will be joining EG. That is, it's kind of not exactly locked in at all. They can still change their minds, but apparently there are only 2 spots available on EG, and one of them is going to go to Superman, and one of them is going to need a flex or initiator player, where BCJ you'd have thought could fit rather well. We thought about maybe Dapr, but of course now if this is the case, then Dapr could maybe stay on Sentinels as their substitute. That potentially seems to be his opportunity. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? If they are indeed building Jorgamo, Com, Boostio, and then Superman and BCJ as the team of 5, like, look, to me, that's pretty damn boring. They could have done a lot more. They could have signed a Marved or, even a Trent or someone like, or, a new Jorgamo's good, don't get me wrong, but there's some other players out there they could have gone for potentially. And, but apparently MIBR, so Bodog's kind of roasting EG and saying they might be boring, but at least they aren't MIBR, who have failed to really sign any good players at the moment. So I guess we'll stay tuned for that one if you're an MIBR fan, that really they're not doing that much seemingly this Rostermania either. Speaking of Ye quickly, because he was out in the Netherlands, and many of you guys were mentioning to me that the Netherlands is where Team Liquid are headquartered. So it might not all be over yet. Of course, we've heard the rumors that Ye's going to go to Cloud9, but still, it depends what Liquid are going to do. We know that, Nats and Redgar are going to go over there, and Ye did say a while ago now that he does have some options outside of North America. And like, I'm sure Cloud9, they've probably got him locked down. They obviously going to want to build their team around Ye, but if he does get some crazy offer and kind of, feels like actually, you know what, this team in Europe with Redgar and Nats or whoever is actually more exciting, then you can't exactly rule it out quite yet. So yeah, he's flying over there, probably just on holiday, but still, I thought it was worthy of note, as you guys just mentioned. Now, speaking of Liquid and these other teams, this is the roster theoretical sheet here that Flynn comes out with. So a couple of key things to note. Firstly, of course, the Liquid team with Nats, potentially Safe, Yampi, Soulcast, that's probably what they're going to be building. Now, Carmine Corp was Screaming Avera. Apparently that might not necessarily be the case anymore. We think it is going to be the case, and that's the team they seemingly are building, but it's still not a guarantee. Now, on the left-hand side, which you guys can just about see as Evil Geniuses, with Boostio, Com, Jorgamo, +2, Superman, we believe, is coming in for Apoth, and then they still need a flex or initiator, which could well be BCJ's calling to this team if they wanted to go down that route. So yeah, this is what we believe is going to be happening here. I appreciate this is pretty small, but a lot of these are going to get locked in, we think, in the near future. So as I say, October the 15th, that's the soft roster lock, just a couple of days time now. The teams will have to effectively, some of these teams will just announce their roster straight up, and when they do, all the players that aren't here, that's when the tier 2 Rostermania is really going to kick off as well. So just because the tier 1 scene is kind of getting relatively solidified doesn't mean that we're over for Rostermania quite yet. So that's kind of what's going on there. Now, quick reaction to the whole Sentinels TenZ discussion here, because TenZ joining the roster. Zekken, of course, the only other guy as yet confirmed to be part of this team, and he has some replies to the whole TenZ situation here, saying he's really looking forward to playing with TenZ and expects they're going to be a pretty disgusting team for the upcoming season, and even said that when he first signs, and he talked to Tarek, and he was like, yeah, this team we've got is not to be trivaled with.
That's huge.
Wait, I get to be on the same team as 10? Are you serious?
If you and TenZ were sharing a bunk bed, who would be on the bottom bunk, who would be on the top bunk?
I'll take top bunk. Yeah, I'm a top bunk. Dude, I cannot wait to be on the same team as 10. That's so sick.
10 from Zeta Division?
Wait, which one were they talking about?
Said 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
time to do.
Me, I believed it.
You excited to play with your new teammate TenZ Zombie?
I can't wait to play with TenZ Zombie.
TenZ Zombie.
Listen, I've played one ranked game with him, and we have an 100% win rate, so it's basically bound for greatness.
I feel like that's the benefit. That's like
What mice do you guys use?
The Zekken TenZ duo in ranked would actually be like scary. That'd be it's a scary rank duo.
So one of the final questions around this really then becomes, where is Dapr going to go? Because we talked briefly that, okay, Dapr to EG, was he trialing with them or something? But BCJ and Superman seem to have a pretty good relationship the last couple of days, and Superman we believe is going to go, so that seems more and more likely. Yes, it's kind of a boring pick for EG to go down that route, but it might be a sensible one if they are at least considering further changes down the line. So yeah, Sentinels, Dephh, Zekken, Sassy, Pancada, TenZ, Psycho, and Kaplan, with Dapr as a possible sub. Not guaranteed, but he has been offered the sub position, and you've got to wonder what Dapr would do, because, like, I'm sure Dapr wants to compete, and I'm sure he probably looks at this starting team and thinks, you know what, am I really going to get a spot back in there? Are they really going to struggle, right? Are they going to need a sub if they want to make changes? And if he has a tier 1 offer, he'll probably do that. But if Dapr only gets offers from tier 2 organizations, then what would you rather do? Would you stay as Sentinels Substitute, or would you go to a tier 2 org and potentially not even qualify for Ascension and then squander the chance to still be under the Sentinels brands? So, you know, you've got to weigh up those options. It's a tough one for Dapr, but if he wants to compete, then he'll do exactly that. So definitely enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. A couple of things on the game changer side, actually, because Cloud9 White have been, once again, just stomping everything in the North American scene. They just 13-2'd everyone right now. I think they even did a 13-1 last night. And as Mel says from Cloud9 White, GG's, we 2-0'd Immortals and except Purple today. We lost 2 rifle rounds today. Really disappointed in the team. Can't believe they actually lost a couple of rounds. This is the way the bracket is working out. Again, it's Cloud9 White, Shopify Rebellion. And just wanted to say, Bob is just unbelievably good. Like, her numbers are just insane. Look at this series here. They played against except Purple. Bob's 32-5 over 2 maps. And the 2 maps went 13-1 and then 13-0. So, I mean, yeah, like, what could you even say about that anymore? And Bob, I believe her numbers over the last, so far in Game Changers, in first kills to first deaths, she's like 33-1. She has like 33 first bloods and 1 first death. So, I don't even know what to say about that. But some pretty decent performances all across the board. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button, tells the YouTube gods it's a good video, and I was like, you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive VALORANT community. Thank you as always, take care, and I'll see you next time.